Welcome to another episode of the Sure Buddy podcast. I got Jay here with me. Had some interesting games to talk about, but first of all, happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, dude. I like your hoodie, man.
Yeah,
Check out mine.
Kobe and Gigi, rest in peace.
I'll give you $10 if you can tell me what song this is from.
It's not a Tupac song.
Okay.
I have no idea.
That's okay. You guys in the comments, let Rashid hear it for that one. Speaking of comments, everybody podcast, look, we're looking for a lot of support from you guys, our viewers. We're trying to create something here, man. We're trying to make something um, you know, improve on the design, trying to do something new. What we're hoping Surebuddy will become is what all of you guys do anyways, right? People, we just kind of sit around and talk about sports. We're a group of friends who all kind of are connected by sports, and so we need your feedback. We want this thing to be something that people can unite over. There's a lot of division, a lot of things that divide us, but sports is one of the things that always brings us together in the spirit of Thanksgiving time and the spirit of togetherness. And we're hoping that you guys can provide us feedback, like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever it is, comments. Let us know what you think of the content. Rashid, how was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was good, man. I'm with my sister. Family's all together. Got a full house. It's been loud. Ate
Are you
until
outside?
I'm outside, man. It's cold here in Dallas, man. It's like 38 degrees, but I gotta record and it's just too loud in the house, so I had to step outside. So I'm sitting outside by the pool and getting this getting this video in. What about you?
Dude, it's good, man. We had, a really good friend of mine treated us to shabu, friends and family. So we went to shabu in the morning and then dinner at Steph's family's place in the evening. Same thing, I got my door locked. I'm like in the room because my dog, Kobe, has been like just losing his mind because he's been deprived of us all day yesterday and today. Like he's so clingy. Like I just need like 5 minutes to myself to just like decompress. So this is perfect timing. But yeah, no, it was good, man. It was definitely good. Could have been better. My fantasy week got off to a rough start thanks to the um the Lions and the Bears, and the Lions letting Keenan go off on them for the first time in like a year plus, two
Yep.
touchdowns.
I think it was last
Man,
Thanksgiving, actually.
what was that game, first of all?
Man, it was, and that's a great segue. It was just a weird game. The Lions were up 16-0 at halftime. I felt like it could have been more, so the Bears were just hanging around. Eberflus comes out at halftime, said, "No, this is going to be our half." Caleb just on a heater, bro. He looked great in that second half. He just came out throwing dimes. Keenan stepping up. DJ Moore got involved. He had a bunch of catches. Swift had a couple good runs. I mean, they looked like a functional offense. I think maybe it took them a half to get the new OC up and running, but and then and then the wheels
And
fell off,
then
man. And then
and then
Eberflus happened, you know?
Dude, somebody at dinner was like, "What the hell? This is casual fan. What the hell? This is crazy. The Bears came back and lost it in like the last minutes of the game." And I, I turned to him and I was like, "Hey, have you not been watching football for literally the last 3 years? Because this is Bears 20 post-COVID Bears. This is it."
But I actually saw on Twitter the last four losses they've had are some of the craziest losses you could have.
Yeah.
They had the Hail Mary, blocked field goal as time ran out, the overtime debacle against Minnesota last week, and then this game. They didn't even get a field goal off. But I want to pick your brain about something. Do you think that's all on Eberflus, or you think Caleb had a role there as well in terms of not calling that unused timeout?
So when I was watching it, I actually was like, so I was sitting here and I was kind of staring up like this, and the bartender was like refilling my drink. So he was in the way. So I was kind of watching, like, so from what I understood, I thought that there was a lot more time because I couldn't see the clock. I thought there was a lot more time left, but I also did not realize that they had a timeout. So initially, I was talking mad shit about Caleb. Like I was like, dude, this is embarrassing. This is humiliating. What's the Ryan Poles, I think is the GM. I was calling for Ryan Poles' job because I was like this is just it's a debacle, right? It's humiliating. Then I go back and I see that they had the timeout. And so looking at the amount of time that they had and the fact that they had a timeout, right? Like you can split the bit blame literally 50-50 down the middle, right? Because here's the thing, as the quarterback, it's not always the coach's responsibility to manage your timeout, right? Like as a quarterback, you have some culpability and understanding like what you need, what the team needs, what resources you have, how much time is left. So it's not 100%. It's not like the quarterback doesn't have some say, some capability of interjecting. However, as a head coach, if you are leaving that to your quarterback, then you are
Rookie
failing him.
quarterback.
Rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback.
You are failing him. Now, if this was like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, then you can certainly place the blame, shift it all the way onto the coach or all the way onto the GOAT, right? But in this situation, a learning, growing, developing player who's shown an excess of bravado, an excess of like belief in themselves, right? All right, cool. If you're that dude, why the hell couldn't you figure that out? And then going back to Eberflus, right? Like you literally just either you're hanging your dude out to dry, um, or you're just an idiot. Like you just don't deserve to be a head coach. But the thing that I think shocked me the most was after doing that, the fact that he had the audacity to go out there and pull a
What you gonna say?
Belichick onto Cincinnati.
You're like,
He
it was the
literally
right
walked out
call.
there. He literally went out there. He was like, "I'm very confident that I'm going to be preparing for San Francisco." What?
Bro, I've seen, as you can see, I'm a Bills fan. I've seen clock mismanagement, game mismanagement for years now. It's been a sticking point with Sean McDermott for his entire tenure. He's, I think, kind of getting better at it, but
Yeah, not just you
was,
though. Mike Tomlin as well.
yeah,
This is some Mike Tomlin shit to do.
yeah, but this was just gross malpractice by Eberflus. He's the coach. It was 35, 36 seconds, third down. I mean, yes, Caleb should have taken the sack on second down, whatever, he did. It's third down, you call a timeout, you still have 35 seconds, run a play out of bounds, or you just kick a long field goal if the play doesn't work on fourth down. It was just a really and the play just took so long. I was sitting there screaming at my TV. I was like, what the F are you guys doing? This is just horrible. And
He
because Caleb's a rookie,
Caleb was
I
so
give him,
nonchalant.
yeah,
Why was
he
he no?
snapped the ball
Why
at like
was he
7 seconds.
It reminded me of like, remember that year when LeBron was getting clowned for like doing dumb stuff like over and over, like when he like rolled the ball out to try and like conserve play clock time,
Yeah,
and then he ended up getting his pocket picked. Like it was like that level of like incompetence. Like he was just standing around for a second.
yeah. He's like doing this thing with this, like this. And I was like, just call a play and run it. Just run a quick out for 5 yards and just do something. It was just frustrating to see that not even get an attempt at a field goal. Who knows? Carlos Sanchez doesn't have a big leg if he would have made it or not, but at least you executed properly to get to that point. To be
And then
able
they
to,
just and then they just went straight to like an impromptu, like Hail Mary, just
yeah,
a bunch of go routes, like no like flea flicker. Like they don't have anything like that. Like just like something, some kind of like we just seen it happen. We've seen it happen like 3 or 4 times this year already, where like this random stuff just works, right? The plays that never work just happen to work this year several times. They don't have anything in the playbook for 6 seconds left, not a bunch of time to discuss it. Like, I don't know, man. I'm so confused. I'm so glad Matt Eberflus got fired. Matt Eberflus, if this video lands on your desk, man, screw you, dude. You suck, bro. Like you're
he stole
so
money, man.
incompetent. You're
He
so
stole
incompetent.
he stole money from the Bears.
I
And
think
it's crazy.
Shake said, did you see what Shake said? He said, if you think about it, he got paid $25 million to just drive them into the ground for 3 years, which is actually like Good for him, but still,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy. I think it's the first time in the history of the Bears that they've fired someone in season.
mid-season,
Insane.
yeah.
And they should have done it. They should have gone into the season with him, to be honest. I thought they should have. But
So
while we're
who's
talking about this, before we pivot, who do you think the Bears? Yeah, I think I read your mind. Who do you think the Bears? Give me a couple candidates that the Bears should be considering.
well, because my Raiders loyalty knows no bounds. I look, there's I have to like pivot to the Raiders for a second. The Raiders, I see one of two courses for us, right? I see us either with Fedor and Dion, or I see us with Cam and Ben Johnson. So because of that, I love the idea of Kyle Shanahan for the Bears. Um, so what I'm terrified of is that Ben Johnson's going to end up in Chicago, and I would hate that just because our friend would be unbearable. And honestly, the Bears don't deserve Ben Johnson. Like Ben Johnson deserves so much better than the Chicago Bears. But what do I realistically think is going to happen? That. What am I hoping happens? I hope that Kyle Shanahan just continues to blow it the rest of the season. I hope he drives this thing into the ground. I hope he drives the Yorks insane. And as a result, gets let go and finds himself a cushy gig in Chicago.
I'm with you with Ben Johnson. I think he's candidate 1A and
Hmm
2B, whatever, 1, 2, and 3. I think they should throw the bank at him. If not him, I could see them making a move for maybe Lincoln Riley from USC. He was Caleb's coach back then. Throw the bag at him. Then they did have your boy that you're not a big fan of. The Who's the OC of Washington? Blanking on his name. Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, they had him in for an interview for the OC. I mean, he could parlay that job maybe into a head coaching job in Chicago because of the
But Cliff,
relationship with Caleb,
I don't know, man. Cliff's
track record.
offense going
Yeah.
downhill as it always does. Like, when he was coaching, when he was head coach, he did this every year. So I guess it depends on what the back quarter of the season looks like. I think Cliff will be out of the running and he's going to have to prove himself again next year. But then again, the NFL is the good old boys club. So for that reason, I don't see Lincoln or him being too far out of the mix. Let me throw a name at you. What about the
Don't say
GOAT?
it. The
What about the GOAT?
GOAT, Andy
Who did you?
Reid? I don't know
No,
about Andy Reid's not
no,
available.
no. The real GOAT.
The GOAT's going to Jacksonville, I think. I think they have the entire infrastructure all set up for him. They have a quarterback. They
Is
have
that the
two
name
good
you thought I
running
was going to
backs.
say?
No, 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 no. I thought you were gonna say the Bills OC, Joe Brady would be a candidate for the Bears head coach. He's a
I
young
think the
dude.
I think the Bills run it back next year.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
I think
I
I
hope
think
Brady.
the Bills pull the Lions and for continuity's sake run it back next year. I know I don't see that happening. There's an outside chance I could see Belichick doing it, but I do think it depends on what happens these last few weeks.
Yeah,
If it continues to look like a circus, then I don't think financially it behooves him to like make that move. And then plus, if you're him, you probably need to check with the missus, right? Like
yeah.
see
You
if
get
like
that.
she's like
No
what her
25-year-old wants to be living
what her
in
yeah, exactly, what her college schedule looks like how many units she's carrying because like is she gonna
do the
want to take
transfer.
trips
Yeah.
yeah, is she gonna want to take trips to Chicago? But yeah, let's root for Kyle Shanahan in Chicago
You
collectively.
know what though? One name just popped in my mind when you said it's a clown show. One good disciplinarian would be Mike Vrabel. I think he's been on the Browns coaching staff this year. I think he'd be a just a very safe Bearsy
As a DC or as a head coach?
head coach.
He already failed once.
He did pretty well. He took the Titans to the AFC Championship against Kansas City a couple
Hey,
years
at
ago.
at the end of the day, he got fired. And then where is he now?
He's like an assistant
He's a he's
in the Browns.
he yeah,
He's not
he's
even
like
DC.
no, he's like a consultant.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's consulting with them.
yeah.
I can see him as a DC, but I mean, I think that's going to be a prestigious job. Like, I think whoever takes that job is going to. I mean, dude, you think about it, they're probably going to have a top 10. They're going to have a top 10 pick too.
Yeah, their schedule's pretty tough
So
end of the season. So
you don't hand that top 10 pick, I don't think, to someone like Mike Vrabel.
I could see it. I could see it. It's a safe pick. They don't. They, it's not a splash move. I mean, what? When's the last time they made a splash move? Ditka. That was the last like big name coach they ever really got. Who have they
You
got?
don't
Who
think
was?
you don't think Kyle Shanahan is a safe move?
No, I think that's a big name. I think that's a much more bigger name. I think Kyle's going to have a huge market. There's going to be a lot of players for him. I think Kyle to the Jets would make a lot of sense. I think Kyle to Jacksonville would make a lot of sense.
Kyle to the Jets is crazy. Could
Yeah,
you imagine if they brought Aaron Rodgers back and brought on Kyle Shanahan?
yeah. With
That would
Brees,
be
Garrett Wilson, Devontae,
insane.
that's a sick squad. But let's pivot right here to the game of the day today. The
No,
Black Friday game.
let's not.
Las Vegas Raiders against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was another shit show, bro. Hey, first of all, I mean, let's start with the positive. Norv Turner, Scott Turner's offense, Aiden O'Connell looked competent. Whoever that running back was, along with Amir Abdullah, I don't know who.
Sincere McCormick,
Yeah, uh, halfway decent. O line played good. Jack Jones did a pretty good job against D Hop.
Brock
Their run
Bowers.
defense was Bowers is a stud, bro. Absolute stud. And you know what? I was reading this also. Maybe the Jets messed up by taking Olu Fashanu over Brock Bowers. I mean, that maybe have saved the Jets season because he is a certified
The
stud.
I have it's so amazing that my two teams ended up in the same situation and doing the same thing. They both took BPA, the Raiders with Brock Bowers and the Lakers with Dalton Connect, and both of them seem to be panning out so well. And both of them can look up at the teams ahead of them and be like, "Thank you," because there's several teams arguably that should have taken Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think anyone, man. Like, I don't know that the Bears would have been poorly served by. I mean, yeah, it's a number one pick, but let's just say they were picking like third, fourth, whatever, right? Let's just say they were picking fourth, and they had picked instead of, and
no,
Caleb's
they
there,
had Rome. They took Rome
and
9, right? They could have taken Bowers there.
oh, yeah, you're right, they could have. I don't know. I would have even the way that Caleb is looking, I would have probably taken Brock ahead of Caleb if it was a later pick. I mean. I know it's hyperbole. It's what I do best.
Yeah.
There's like, it's so rare that you hit on tight end at 22, 23 years of age. Like, it's almost never happens, right? Like, I think Aaron Hernandez was like, am I allowed to say that name?
I don't know. Al
Rest in
Michaels
peace.
talked about him today, though.
Rest in
He
peace.
said Noah Gray, Travis Kelce is the next Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, so Noah Gray's gonna kill someone.
Yeah, pretty much. And he may be.
Rest in peace to the victims. Oh, I just think that, like, that typically, like, your tight end breakout happens at like 25, 26, 27 years of age. This dude is breaking out with like dog shit quarterback play at
Seriously.
like 21, 22 years of age. He's Have you seen his hairline?
God, are
That
we sure
is,
he's 22, 23? By the
bro,
way?
this dude is 40.
Yeah.
That is the
He-
most that is the most like dedicated to my craft hair I've ever seen. Like, that's all he cares about is playing ball.
yeah.
But along all those silver linings, there was definitely some clouds. So I apologize to the fan base. My team let you all down. I know that everybody was counting on the Raiders to be the next crap team that potentially knocks off the Chiefs. I know that you were looking for some help in the AFC standings. Didn't get it from the Raiders, but personally, I'm ecstatic because that's another L. I can't get enough L's this year with the Raiders. We have two wins, and that second win is haunting me because if we just had one win, we'd have a like firm grasp on the number one pick, be in control of our own destiny. Then we can decide, is Travis the right guy for us? Is it Shador? Is it Cam? But now there's a little bit of uncertainty. So I'm ecstatic, but I
Yeah,
feel sorry that my team let the rest of y'all down who actually have
man.
something to play
It
for this
was.
season.
I was like, Dan Carlson, just make a field goal, and the Bills have the number one seed going into to Sunday. That would have been fantastic end to this Thanksgiving weekend. But look, I'm gonna put my conspiracy hat on right now because everyone on X is
Script.
talking about this was just not forget script. This is like black magic, bro. They are the Chiefs. Like if you watch that final play, there was the snap, hit him in the shoulder, but right before like everyone's diving on the ball, there's a ref coming running in, calling false start, calling the play dead. Chiefs recovered the ball, but the play was dead. The referees meet up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the play is not dead. It was just a legal shift
This is
or a legal motion." And
the conversation was like, okay, so what do we do now? Has anybody heard from Roger? Somebody call. Oh no,
yeah,
yep. You know what? Hey, Rogers,
absolutely,
hold on one second. Roger. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is
yeah,
no dead ball, Chiefs ball. And then somebody else was like, dude, how are we gonna pull that off? And the other guy was like, just say illegal formation. Nobody knows what that is anyways.
yeah. And they're like, "Who just can you just confirm who recovered the ball?" Oh, it was the Chiefs. Cool.
Chiefs, all
We'll
right, cool.
call
Yeah.
anything except a dead play.
Yeah.
And that was the game. And I was like, this is some BS, man. I was like,
This is the other scenario that I saw happening, that Tom Brady called Antonio Pierce and was like, you listen here. If you guys don't find a way to blow this and you get us our third win and screw up our draft positioning, you and your whole coaching staff is on their asses at the end of this game. You're going to be sitting next to Matt Eberflus somewhere. And so Antonio was like, oh my God, what do I do? So as the team is running out there, he grabs our center and says, listen here. As soon as
snap it
he
into his
looks away,
shoulder.
you snap that damn ball.
As soon as he looks away.
Let Nick Bolton's going to be lined up to the right of you. Just
Yeah.
whisper something to him, give him a little wink, let him know what you're about to do, and then just back off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
That was frustrating. I mean, there's two games, both games that we're talking about here, just the ineptitude of the offense to not even get the field goal off, right? Just to either tie it in the Lions game or potentially win the game for the Raiders. So it's just
So
it's
what's
just
next
poor.
for
It's
us?
just piss poor for the Raiders. I think you keep Pierce. I mean, look, the only problem with keeping Pierce is they play hard for him. I mean, they played. It was a pretty good game.
It don't matter. It don't matter. They're all going to be gone anyways.
Yeah, yeah. But the problem is maybe you want to fire him so they don't play so hard for him anymore, man. They want you want someone that they want you want everyone to be making bookings to Cancun like right now.
The only thing that I could see is I would love if we could keep him as our DC somehow. Like, I would love if we could keep him as our DC.
Yeah, I doubt that's gonna.
Like,
I mean, I don't think
next
that's
year.
a yeah.
And
Let's just take a look at the Raiders schedule here. Well, who they got? They got
we're not winning another game. I think we,
no. I think you can beat the Jaguars
I was
at
going to say, I
home.
think we play the Jaguars.
I think depending on the Derek Carr revenge game, who
Trevor
knows what
Lawrence is
happens
back.
there. Trevor Lawrence is back, but I don't know with that.
He's going to
I mean,
feast.
I think they've all called it in. Jaguars are already planning for summer break.
Cancun on three.
Cancun on three. No, and then the Derek Carr revenge game against New Orleans. So those are the only two games that they may squeak out. For your sake, I hope they don't. I'd love to see the Raiders with a stud QB. And I don't think Dion's going to the NFL, but we'll see. You never know.
You don't?
I don't.
He ain't going to sit
I think
around
they
in
did.
Boulder for much longer, man.
Well, they just got the number two
Or
recruit in all
Colorado.
football coming to Colorado to play quarterback.
Great. He can play for somebody else. You don't
But
think so? You don't?
he's king in Colorado, man. He's I mean, there's so much
Dude,
media attention on him.
imagine if he was coaching either the Raiders or the Cowboys, bro.
Oh my gosh, Cowboys! It would kill me, man. I get sick of it. I'm already sick of the Cowboys, and they're so bad.
I know.
And then yeah, it's
Think
it
about just think about from a marketing standpoint. Think about how
yeah,
much money he would make. And
seriously.
like look, the crazy thing about Dion is he's had a career. Like his career was so bright. Like he was such a bright spot in the NFL, right? He was one of the greatest of all time in any sports. For me, he's one of the greatest athletes ever in the whole world in all sports. He did that. He burned as bright as he could, and then had enough time for a whole generation to forget about him. Like, like I kind of remember watching him. That's crazy, bro. Like, there's people that are a few years younger than me that have never
Yeah,
seen him
no
play
idea.
that have like full on like careers and families and shit. So now he has a chance to go and do that again and burn equally as bright as a
Yep.
coach. Like, he's coming to the NFL. I want him to be on my team.
I remember him. He lived in Fremont when he played for the Niners, so I remember driving past his house all the time. But to think that he went from Jackson State a couple years ago, I think this is what his second, third year in Colorado, and he could have the
Second
pick of the
year?
litter. Second year, right? He could have the
Yeah.
pick of the litter of a job in the NFL. That's pretty crazy. I mean, he also has had probably the number one and the number two pick in the NBA in the NFL draft on his team. So that does help. That does make him look a lot better than.
The thing is that he's been on this path to like break up the good old boys club, and some would argue that he is one of the good old boys, but you know what I mean. And the next iteration of that, the next like taking shape is the NFL.
Yeah,
So
we'll
it
see.
has to happen. I hope the tankathon continues. I got Raiders losing at Jaguars. This is not investing advice. This is not betting advice. Don't bet.
This is
But
just hopes and dreams.
I got the Jaguars beating us, and definitely the Derek Carr revenge game we're gonna lose. So there you have it. Cam Ward,
All right, brother.
Shador, Travis, here we come.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Please, everyone, if you all have watched to the end, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Comments are always welcome. We'll love to engage back. So we'll
Let
catch you on
Rashid
the flip
know in the
side.
comments
Yes. What is this?
what song this is from.
No,
Let
I'm gonna have to
Rashid
Google
know.
that myself. All right.
No, don't look it up. Look at the comments. Somebody help him out.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Bye.